All right, this video is for demonstration purposes only. I'm not in the field. I'm not actually applying this. As you can see on the ground there, it's winter actually. But I've been wanting to do a video on this application specifically for a while. This is a NC300 counter. They're now made by MH Corbin. They were made by Numetrics Corporation. That's where the NC, I think, came from. But once you programmed this counter using the HDM software for whatever duration of study, it's ready to go. It'll turn itself on, but it's got to be placed in the roadway, and there's basically one of two ways of doing that. The preferable way is using road tape. Our road tape comes in these boxes on big rolls. As you can see, it's 12-inch tape. It's a tar with like a, I believe, Teflon backing and plastic underside that'll peel off, that'll go right in the roadway. I say that's preferable, but you can only road tape when the road surface is good and dry and a warm enough temperature. When I start working in April, it may be dry, it may be sunny. I may or may not be able to tape those first week or two, depending on where you are, in the States and what kind of a winter you've had, the road temperature surface. You can kind of tell whether it's going to stick. You're dealing with an expensive piece of equipment here, so you want it to be safe. But as the summer comes on, most traffic studies are done in nice weather, or where it's always nice. It's not always nice where I live in Illinois. So the traffic studies we do for the Department of Transportation are done typically April to October. This is a cover. You can see there's an arrow on the cover for direction. There's also arrows on the counter. And that matches up. It'll fit in there well. But when you use this cover, we use Hilti drills. There are some other applications, road nails and things, but most of the transportation departments prefer you use something you can remove from the roadway. And we use lags like these. We have a couple links. These are actually the shorter ones, but they basically have the same amount of thread as the 3¼ inch lags we have. And you use the hammer drill. It's a large, it's kind of expensive hammer drill that we use, but it gets the job done. One of the things about it is you're in the roadway a lot longer when you lag. And so if it's going to rain and the road surface are going to be wet, you can still use the counters. I mean, they can be out, the road can get wet, it can rain, downpour. May not be ideal, but we work in the rain. You're not going to want to do roads with high volume. You're not going to want to do a road that's really busy, because you can't stand in the interstate and lag these down, and we do count interstates. You can't be out in rush hour. So I kind of alter my field plans. I have a lot of work to do over the summer, and if it's going to rain, I'll be out in the rural areas on a road where nobody may come by while I'm applying, and the 24-hour count is maybe less than 1,000 vehicles. If I'm doing a busy road, it will always be on a hot, sunny summer day using the road tape. And that's really what the purpose of this video is today. I'm just using my cell phone for this, so I don't know how much of it I'll actually be able to demonstrate. We've got, you cannot put this tape directly on the counter. Well, you could, but you would pretty much just cover this with tar. Especially imagine a 90-degree hot day and you forget to cover this with something before you put the road tape on. And the worst thing is not just tar on the surface of this, but getting tar on those pins, which and getting the pin holes inside of there. That's what you program and read this counter. So I know Corbin actually recommends using like a Ziploc. I use that term, but that's sort of a bag perhaps. That's single layer, but it's kind of thick, just dropping it in one. That's probably more expensive. You're doing a lot of counts than what we do. I believe this is ordered from Uline. There are other sources, these rolls. But I wrap this counter in this cellophane right here on the back door of the van. As you can see, I'll wrap this counter 4 times. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and do that. Keep a utility knife right here. Actually, a cutter comes with them, but I don't have one back here. It comes with our orders from Uline when we order enough of that cellophane at one time. But I'll cut it off with that and I'll have the counter wrapped. So let me wrap that counter real quick. All right. Okay, so once I've wrapped it, as you can see, I would have already done this, but I want to show you, it's longer than the counter. So you're kind of protecting the front and the back with a good amount of that plastic. Now, you also have to make sure you know the direction of this. There's the pinholes. The arrow's going that way. Of course, the cover has arrows on it, but my road tape's not going to. So I'm going to peel the back of that off. I'm going to go ahead and do that even though I'm not putting this down here in the snow today. But let me do that. So I peeled the plastic. I keep a 5-gallon bucket back here. As you can see the paper there. That's the backing. Now that's the tar. Here it is in the winter. It's frozen. See how it's not sticking to my hand? I'm out here working in the summer. That stuff's sticky. On a really hot day, this stuff is almost gooey, okay? So, count's going that way. You can see the arrows through the plastic. I lay that right in the center, okay? Got room here, 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 here. And I'm actually going to carry that. I don't know if it'll stick today because it's so cold. Just like that to the roadway. Lay that down in the center of the lane. Step, step, press good. Using my feet. So I can stand, I can see traffic. I have somebody working with me that's spotting traffic as well. And that thing will go down to the road. As a matter of fact, in the sun, it'll really bite down. It's low profile. It can be ran over all day. It can be hit. When I come back to pick that up, say I'm doing a 24-hour study, and it's going to have a ridge. I mean, the counter's going to be highly visible in there when I come back to that in the roadway. And I've done it for 15 years. I'm pretty good at it. You just make sure you have a good sharp knife. That's a safety issue, especially if I'm working in the interstate. There are a lot of vehicles out there, and I'm waiting for a break, that I can run out there and grab that counter. I can do that in a matter of just 2-3 seconds, literally. Bend over, and I grab that thing. You're going to leave a square of tar in the roadway, and the road's tar anyway. That'll go into the road in the sun, eventually go into the road. You might see those squares out somewhere, and I've got that ready to go back to the van, cut it out, read it on the computer, and that is how you use the road tape application for the NC300, the NC350, or whatever type of Histar that you're using.